Hello everyone, and thank you for joining this Global Online Career Fair webinar. My name is Vincent Tam. I've spent more than 20 years in roles across corporate banking, strategy, HR, governance, and risk here in Hong Kong. Over the years, I've also been very involved in talent development. I've served as a mentor and career advisor to students at 10 universities in Hong Kong. The goal of today's session is very practical. I want to help you navigate Hong Kong's job market as global talent, to understand where the demand is, what employers really look for, and how you can position yourself to stand out. I will draw on my experience on both sides of the table, as a hiring manager and as someone who has coached many students and mid-career professionals who have successfully landed roles in Hong Kong. Here's our agenda for today. First, I will give you a snapshot of Hong Kong's job market. Which sectors are hiring, what types of roles are in demand and for global talent. Second, we will talk about what Hong Kong employers value, not only technical skills, but also commercial impact, cultural fit, and language. Third, we will look at how to position yourself, choosing clear target roles and building a profile that's truly Hong Kong ready. Fourth, we will cover job search channels, how to use job boards, recruiters, networking effectively in Hong Kong context. Fifth, we will dive into interviewing in Hong Kong, what to expect and how to handle coming questions, especially around language and readiness. Finally, we will wrap up with the mindset and takeaways, and I will leave time for Q&A, and so please feel free to type questions into the chat as we go along. Let's begin with why, despite competition from other cities, Hong Kong still attracts global talent. First, we remain an international business hub. Many regional headquarters for banks, multinational corporations, logistics, and tech firms are based in Hong Kong. When you work in Hong Kong, you're often working on regional or global mandates, not just local ones. Second, Hong Kong is a gateway to mainland China and the wider Asia region. A lot of roles here cover Greater China and the Asia Pacific, which means exposure to multiple markets and cultures, something employers really value on your CV. Third, we have a deep professional ecosystem, strong clusters in finance, insurance, asset management, legal, consulting, logistics, aviation, and technologies. That means more opportunities for specialization and career progression. Fourth, for many professional and regional roles, English is the main working language. Language is still important. I will talk about Cantonese and Mandarin later, but non-Cantonese speakers can and do build good careers here, especially in regional and specialist roles. Finally, Hong Kong is actively attracting talent. There are dedicated talent schemes, job fairs like this one, and growing government support for professionals who want to build their careers here. So if you're wondering, is now a good time to consider Hong Kong? I think the answer is yes, provided you're strategic about which sectors and roles you target. Here, this is the chart from a KPMG survey in which over 280 business executives in Hong Kong have participated in this survey. It shows the expected headcount increases across different sectors. What I want you to notice is that most major sectors are planning net growth in headcount. In particular, you can see strong expectations in innovation and technology, financial services, professional services sectors. Even sectors like consumer markets and industrial markets show positive expectations. Opportunity exists anyway, but they are not evenly spread. As global talent, your strategy should be to align yourself with sectors that are growing, where employers are under pressure to hire and may be more open to candidates who are new to Hong Kong, provided you bring the right skills. Let me summarize 4 key hiring sectors that I see driving demand for talent in Hong Kong in the next few years. First, technology and digital. Companies are investing heavily in AI tools, cybersecurity, cloud, data science, and automation. This is not just in tech companies. Banks, insurers, logistic firms, even retailers and public sector bodies are all going through digital transformation to improve resilience and efficiency. For you, this means that if you have data engineering, analytics, or cybersecurity skills, or if you can bridge business and technology, Hong Kong offers many interesting roles for you. Second, financial services and fintech. Hong Kong remains a major international financial center. We see growth in banking and capital markets, IPO fundraising, and also in virtual assets in fintech. Skills in stablecoins, blockchain, private wealth management, and related risk and compliance are increasingly valuable. If your background is in finance, accounting, risk, compliance, or product management, you can position yourself towards fintech and digital banking opportunities. Third, professional and advisory services. Hong Kong companies are facing new regulations and climate-related disclosure requirements. This drives demand for lawyers, consultants, ESG specialists, and compliance professionals who can help business adapt. People with audit, legal, risk, sustainability, or consulting experience can do well here. If you understand international standards and can communicate clearly with senior stakeholders. Fourth, sales and digital marketing. Employers need talent who can drive digital revenue and optimize e-commerce. If you have experience in performance marketing, CRM, SEO, and SEM, social commerce, or data-driven marketing, you can add a lot of value to Hong Kong and regional teams. As you listen, ask yourself, which two of these sectors are the best match for your skills and interests? That will shape how you position your profile later. In Hong Kong, we are seeing a clear shift from pilot to execution in AI. A few years ago, many companies are just running small experiments, a chatbot here, a proof of concept there. Now, organizations in finance, insurance, FMCG, manufacturing, logistics, and other sectors are moving towards real implementation, where AI is embedded into daily operations. This creates in-demand roles such as AI strategists or product leads, people who can take AI ideas and turn them into concrete use cases with measurable ROI. AI, machine learning operation engineers who can build and deploy and maintain large language model or machine learning system in production. Data scientists and analytics leads who can translate AI insights into commercial decisions. What do employers in Hong Kong expect from candidates in these areas? There are three things. The ability to link AI projects to business outcomes, revenue growth, cost savings, or risk management. Hands-on experience with large language models or AI tools that are integrated into existing systems, not just academic knowledge. Awareness of risks, governance, data privacy, and auditability, which is very important in a highly regulated environment like Hong Kong. If you're interested in AI-related roles, don't just talk about models and tools. Be ready to explain how your work changed business metrics and how you handle risk and compliance consideration. This table highlights 3 regulatory changes that are already shaping hiring plans in Hong Kong. In technology and digital, we have the Cybersecurity Law, Protection of Critical Infrastructure Computer System Ordinance, coming into effect on January 1st, 2026. It regulates critical infrastructure across 8 key sectors, including energy, IT, banking, transport, healthcare, telecoms, and so forth. The impact is clear. Organizations need more cyber engineers, security operations center analysts, GRC specialists, and critical infrastructure security roles, both in-house and in consulting firms. In financial services and fintech, there is the new Stablecoins Ordinance effective on August 1st, 2025, with an Hong Kong MA licensing regime for stablecoin issuers and related service providers. This drives demand for digital asset compliance experts, licensing and regulatory specialists, risk professionals, treasury and reserve management experts, who can ensure issuers meet the new requirements. In professional and advisory services, the Hong Kong Stock Exchange ESG Code Appendix C2, aligned with IFRS S2, introduced stricter climate change disclosure requirements for listed companies, starting with large cap issuers from January 1st, 2026. As a result, we see growth in ESG and climate reporting, sustainability consulting, climate risk analysis, and ESG audit assurance roles. The practical point for you is that when you invest in building skills aligned to these specific regulations, your profile becomes much more attractive in Hong Kong's market. Here we link sectors with the priority skills and useful qualifications that Hong Kong employers often look for. In technologies and digital, the basics include cybersecurity fundamentals, cloud or application security, incident response, and understanding of the new cybersecurity laws. Credentials such as CISSP, CISM, etc. are very important. You can signal your credibility, especially if you are new to the Hong Kong market. In financial services in fintech, knowledge of stablecoins and virtual assets is increasingly important, along with those AML and CFT knowledge. Digital assets and familiarity of Hong Kong MA licensing, stablecoin ordinance, etc. are very important as well. Here, qualifications like CFA, Hong Kong SI papers, FRM, etc. These qualifications are very important to fintech or virtual assets focus. It also can help you to stand out in the market as well. In professional and advisory roles, employers value understanding of IFRS S1 and S2, and also Hong Kong Stock Exchange ESG rules as well. In addition to corporate governance and regulatory advisory skills, you need to have professional trainings like CFA, ESG, GRI, etc. If you have all these qualifications, you will be very strong in the market. From my experience across banking, HR, and mentoring, Hong Kong employers tend to look for 4 key attributes. First, technical and professional competence. This means up-to-date skills, relevant certifications, and a track record of results. You should be able to point to specific projects or achievements, not just duties. Second, commercial and market awareness. Employers want to know that you understand how your work connects to revenue, costs, risks, and customer value in the Hong Kong or regional context. Even if you're a data analyst or an engineer, you should be able to say, because of my analysis, the team saved X dollars or reduced Y risk. Third, cultural and communication fit. Clear English communications is essential. Any Cantonese or Mandarin you have is a bonus, especially for client-facing or local stakeholder roles. Just as important is your ability to work with local and regional colleagues, understanding differences in communication style and hierarchy. Fourth, adaptability and execution speed. Hong Kong is known for its fast-paced and tight timelines. Employers look for people who can learn quickly, adapt to change, and deliver without needing too much hand-holding. Your stories should demonstrate this. A common challenge I see, especially with global talent, is that profiles are too broad. People say, I'm open to anything. The problem is that in Hong Kong's fast-moving market, nobody has time to decode a vague profile. You need to make it easier for employers and contacts to place in your box, the right box. Step 1, to define a clear target. Choose 2 to 3 target functions. For example, data analyst, business intelligence, corporate banking associate, ESG analyst. Then choose 2 to 3 target sectors, such as fintech and digital banking, management consulting for financial services, or technology and digital transformation. Once you are clear Remove wording like open to anything from your CV or LinkedIn. Instead, make your headline summary match your primary target. Step 2 is to craft a Hong Kong-focused value propositions. In a few sentences, state your experience level, sector familiarity, and language capabilities. For example, you may say, I help regional banks in Hong Kong improve risk management and regulatory compliance by combining my 5 years of experience in auditing with strong data analytics skills and familiarity with Hong Kong MA requirements. This kind of statements immediately tells Hong Kong employers who you can help, what problem you can solve, and how you can do it. To convert your profile into local value, there are a few practical adjustments you can make. First, use Hong Kong-friendly titles and language. Common corporate titles here include analyst, associate, assistant manager, manager, and officer. If your original title is very local or unusual, consider adding clarifying English version in brackets. Second, emphasize what matters most to Hong Kong employers. Highlight quantified achievements. For example, reduce reporting time by 30%, grew portfolio revenue by 15%, or improve compliance testing efficiency by 25%. Name the tools, technologies, or regulations you used that are relevant to Hong Kong, such as IFRS, Hong Kong IFRS, etc. Mention any collaboration with Hong Kong, Mainland China, or APAC teams or clients. Even a small project can demonstrate regional exposure. Third, avoid common pitfalls. Don't write very long job descriptions that list responsibilities but no results. Avoid dense paragraphs. Use short, scannable bullet points. Remember, many recruiters in Hong Kong will skim your CV for less than a minute on the first pass. These adjustments may sound simple, but they can significantly increase the response rate you can get from Hong Kong employers. In this section, I will share where Hong Kong roles are typically advertised, how to make your application stand out in the applicant tracking system, and how you work with recruiters and your network effectively. Most of you are familiar with job boards, but the way you use them can make a big difference in Hong Kong. First, prioritize relevant platforms. Use Job Market or other Hong Kong job portals. They carry a lot of local roles. Also use international platforms like LinkedIn, where many Hong Kong employers post regional roles. Don't forget career site of your target companies. Some roles only post there or appear earlier on job boards. Second, refine your search strategies. Combine specific role titles, skills, and sector terms with Hong Kong. For example, data analyst Hong Kong, ESG consultant Hong Kong, etc. Set up job alerts for your target roles and sectors so that opportunities come to you automatically and you can apply them earlier than others. Third, be disciplined about application quality. Tailor your CV slightly for each role to match the key requirements, especially the top 5 to 7 skills listed. Use a short, targeted cover letter or application note that answers 3 questions. These are: why this role, why this company, why Hong Kong, and how you can add value here specifically. Hong Kong recruiters see many generic applications. If you can show that you have done your homework on the company and the market, you immediately stand out. Most medium to large employers in Hong Kong use applicant tracking system to manage the high volume applications. So what does an ATS do? It scans CVs and cover letters for specific keywords drawn from the job descriptions. It assigns each applications a match score and ranking based on keywords, experience, and education. Often, recruiters will look at the top-ranked CVs, especially when there are hundreds of applicants. How you can optimize your CV for ATS? Mirror key phrases from the job ad, particular skills, tools, and job titles in your CV and LinkedIn profile, as long as they are genuinely true for you. Avoid complicated formattings, such as table, text boxes, or many graphics. Use simple text or bullet points. ATS system read these more reliably. Include a dedicated skills section where you can list your technical, functional, and language skills using common industry terms. Save and upload your CV in the recommended file format, often in PDF or Word, as specified by the employer. You don't need to game the system, but you need to make sure ATS can clearly see how you match the role. Otherwise, a human never gets to read your excellent experience. Recruiters in Hong Kong can be powerful allies if you manage relationship well. First, identify suitable agencies. Look for sector-specific recruiters, for example, finance, tech, legal, or supply chain. And for consultants who regularly handle Hong Kong and regional roles, often you can see this from their LinkedIn profile and the roles they advertise. Second, prepare for the first conversation. Be clear about your target roles and sectors. Remember the positioning we discussed earlier. Your compensation range, be flexible but realistic based on your experience in the Hong Kong market. Your visa status, relocation timeline, and preferred work location. Recruiters need this information to decide which clients can realistically hire you. Third, maintain an ongoing professional relationship. Update recruiters on your interview progress and any changes in the situation. Respond promptly to messages or requests. Hong Kong recruiters operate at a fast pace and often need to shortlist candidates within a day or two. I always say treat recruiters as partners. They can be your advocates in front of hiring managers if you are clear, responsive, and professional. If you help them position you well, they are much more likely to put you forward and speak positively about you to their clients. In Hong Kong, networking and referrals play a very significant role in hiring decisions. Why does networking matter so much here in Hong Kong? Many roles, especially mid-level and senior ones, are filled through internal referrals and professional networks before public advertisement. Networking is not just about asking for a job. It's about exchanging information, understanding the local context, and building trust over time. Where can you network offline? Events organized by Talent Engage, Industry Association, and Job Market. Chambers of Commerce, professional bodies, and alumni associations. These often host talks, breakfast meetings, or mixers where you can meet decision makers. Where you can network online, LinkedIn is one of the best options, but connecting with people in your target roles and companies, and engaging with their posts thoughtfully. Interest-based groups and forums focus on the Hong Kong market or your professional niche. A practical target may be aim to start 1 or 2 new conversations each week with Hong Kong-based professionals. Ask for 15 to 20 minutes to learn about their role, their view of the market, rather than asking immediately for referral. Over time, as people get to know you, your value, referrals tend to come more naturally. Most interviews in Hong Kong share a few common characteristics. First, many employers use structured behavioral questions like, tell me about a situation, how you handle a critical challenge. This is how they assess your fit and attitude. They want evidence of how you behave in the real situations, not just what you would do in theory. Second, they are often technical or case-based questions to verify your capability. For example, asking you to walk through a financial model, interpret data, or discuss how you will approach a compliance problem in the Hong Kong context. Interviewers will usually focus on 3 things. How you handle pressure and multiple deadlines, because the pace here in Hong Kong is fast. Your ability to work with diverse stakeholders, different functions, levels, and cultures. Your understanding of Hong Kong and Asian business context, for example, regulatory environment, customer expectation, or cultural nuisance. In terms of formats, you can expect one-on-one interviews, panel interviews, and often multiple rounds with HR, hiring manager, senior manager, or partner. Video interviews are increasingly used for early rounds, especially if you're overseas. Knowing this, you can prepare stories and examples that specifically show you can handle the pace, complexity, and cultural context of working in Hong Kong. Two questions that global talent often worry about are language ability and job readiness. Let's look at how you can address these confidently. Let's start with language. When interviewers ask about your language skills, be honest about your current level. Don't oversell because it will become obvious very quickly. Emphasize 3 points: your strong English communication skills, both spoken and written, any Cantonese or Mandarin you already have, even if it's basic, and your plan to continue learning. Showing your commitment matters. Concrete examples of how you have collaborate across culture and work with colleagues or clients using different languages. Then, you almost always be asked your job readiness, whether you can handle pressure and expectation in Hong Kong. Use specific stories to show, first, resilience and work ethic. This is a time when you can succeed under high pressure and tight deadlines. Ownership and accountability, when you took responsibility to solve a problem rather than waiting for instructions. And lastly, speed of learning, when you quickly understood a new domain, tool, or market. These stories will show the interviewer that even if you're new to Hong Kong, you already have the mindset and behaviors to thrive here. The most efficient way to prepare for these kinds of questions is to develop a small set of anchor stories that you can adapt to many situations. Let me explain what that looks like. I strongly recommend preparing 3 to 5 anchor stories before your interview. Why? Because Hong Kong employers value impact, stakeholders management in a fast-moving, regulated regional hub. The same stories can often answer many different questions if you tell them well. Your anchor stories should be tailored to Hong Kong or APAC situation, highlighting cross-border work, regulatory aspects, and high pace where possible. Use the STAR framework: situation, task, action, results. Let me walk through an example on the slide. Situation and task. At my previous firm, my headquarters rolled out a new compliance system across Asia, and many staff resist the change. What I do through my action and the result that I can get, I led short training sessions, create simple checklists, and gather feedback from Hong Kong, mainland China, and Singapore. Within 3 months, regional adoption reached over 95%, and all the findings dropped, and our office was recognized as the model for future rollouts. Notice that this story can be used to answer questions about leading change, influencing stakeholders, working across culture, improving compliance, and delivering results under pressure. If you prepare 3 to 5 such stories, each with strong, quantifiable results and a regional flavor, you will feel much more confident in your interviews, and your answers will sound concrete and relevant to the Hong Kong environment. We have covered the market, positioning, job search, and interviewing. To bring everything together, let's talk about the mindset you need, the key takeaways from today's section. This section is about how you show up as a candidate, your mindset, and a quick summary of the most important message from today. Skills and strategies are most important, but mindset often determines who actually gets the offer. In Hong Kong's market, I've seen 4 attitudes makes a big difference. First, be proactive but not passive. Don't rely on job ads. Reach out to people, follow up after conversations, ask for advice and feedback. Many successful candidates I have coached create their own opportunities through informational interviews and proactive contact. Second, be curious and humble. Take time to learn about Hong Kong's business culture, regulations, workplace norms. Ask questions, listen carefully, and avoid assuming that what works in your home country will be the same here. Third, be persistent and respectful. Hiring cycles can be competitive and sometimes slow. You may apply to many roles before getting traction. Keep following up politely and avoid being pushy. Think of it as a building long-term relationship and not just chasing a single job. Fourth, be value-driven. Always frame your profile around how you help Hong Kong employers solve problems or capture opportunities. When you talk about your experience, connect it to tangible value. For example, revenue, cost, risk, customer satisfaction, or innovation. If you can combine these mindsets with the strategies we have discussed, you will be in a much more stronger position than candidates who only send out generic CVs. So here come our last slides about our presentation. This is our key takeaways of our presentation. We want to consolidate our main ideas, opportunities, attributes, positioning, channels, and interviews. Let me highlight 5 key takeaways here. Hong Kong offers diverse, high-value opportunities for global talent across finance, technology, professional service, and more, especially if you align with growth sectors. Employers value competence, commercial thinking, cultural fit, and adaptability. Make these visible and specific in your CV. Also, LinkedIn and interview stories. Position yourself sharply. Choose focus and target roles and sectors. Craft Hong Kong-focused value propositions and use local-friendly titles and language in your profile. Use a mix of job boards, specialist recruiters, and networking. Referrals and relationships are often decisive, especially for more competitive roles. Be interview ready. Prepare 3 to 5 strong anchor stories about yourself. Practice handling language and readiness questions, and be ready to explain how you add value in the Hong Kong and regional context, clearly, confidently, and concisely. My hope is that you leave today with concrete actions, perhaps to refine your CV, reach out to a recruiter, enroll in a relevant course, or practice your anchor story with a friend. Thank you again for your attention. I will now move to the Q&A section and will be very happy to address your specific questions about navigating Hong Kong's job market. Thank you.